Hey everybody, Ace Channel Liam here, and welcome to a very special episode of Form Fight, the 100th episode of Form Fight. And before we get into this special episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to anybody that has ever watched any of my Form Fight. We started Form Fight the 12th of October 2017. It's almost 2 years. Not quite 2 years, almost, just a month shy since we started Form Fight, and you guys have just loved it so much, and I can't thank you enough. If you've been watching since Raichu vs. Alolan Raichu, if this is your first Form Fight, doesn't matter. Thank you so much for watching this series and supporting it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for 2 years, almost a month shy, for 23 months of Form Fight. And I know there's a meme in the comment section that's like, if I pick a particular pairing of Pokemon, people are like,
oh wow, he's picked this pairing? Okay, he's clearly running out of ideas.
I'm not running out of ideas. I've got a list that's like yay long of loads of different counterpart Pokemon. Pokemon with alternate forms. There's still a whole bunch of Mega Evolutions to do. There's plenty of stuff for me to do, and Sword and Shield is going to open that up even further, because, you know, I'm pretty hyped for Weezing versus Galarian Weezing, if I'm completely honest. Plus, there'll be Gigantamax versions versus their own, which might be a bit one-sided. But anyway, just thank you. Just thank you for watching Form Fight for 2 whole years, not 2 whole years, 23 months. Thank you for watching Form Fight for 100 whole episodes. I really appreciate it, and here's to many more. Now, if you've got no idea what Form Fight is and you're brand new here, it's a series where we take a look at Pokemon with more than one form, or a branched evolution, or counterpart Pokemon. We have a look at the differences between those Pokemon, and we try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a Metronome battle between them, just for a little bit of fun. If you're a fan of Form Fight already, make sure you hit the like button like you always do, show you're enjoying the series, and of course hit the subscribe button if you're new so you never miss an episode. But with all that out the way, let's have a look at today's challenges. Oh boy. Today on this very special episode of Form Fight, we're going to be looking at the branched evolutions of Eevee, which are Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Espeon, Umbreon, Leafeon, Glaceon, and Sylveon. And knowing my luck, as soon as Sword and Shield comes out, they'll add another one, just to make this video redundant. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. I've probably jinxed it. Now, in order to obtain one of these Pokemon, you'll need to evolve your Eevee using various different methods. Exposing Eevee to a Water Stone will cause it to evolve into Vaporeon. A Thunderstone will turn Eevee into Jolteon. A Firestone will change Eevee into Flareon. Leveling up an Eevee that has max friendship during the daytime will create Espeon. Leveling up a max friendship Eevee at night will make it evolve into Umbreon. Leveling up an Eevee near a mossy rock will cause it to evolve into Leafeon. And leveling up an Eevee near an icy rock will evolve it into Glaceon. And finally, if Eevee has at least 2 levels of affection and knows a fairy type move, leveling up will cause it to evolve into Sylveon. But what makes these 8 branched evolutions of Eevee so different? Let's take a look. According to the Pokedex, Vaporeon stands at 1 meter tall and weighs 29 kilograms. Its Pokedex information reads, clean, clear waters are its usual habitat. When it's about to be attacked by an invading enemy, it dives into the water to hide. It detects nearby moisture with its fin. When its fin begins trembling rapidly, that means rain will fall in a few hours. Next up is Jolteon, who stands at 0.8 meters tall and weighs 24.5 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says its lungs contain an organ that creates electricity. The crackling sound of electricity can be heard when it exhales. Its fur stands on end, becoming like needles it fires at enemies. Once they're weakened, it finishes them off with a 10,000 volt shock. Next up is Flareon at 0.9 meters tall and weighing 25 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says if it inhales deeply, that's a sign it's about to attack. Prepare to be hit by flames of over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The flame chamber inside its body ignites when Flareon gets agitated, reaching temperatures of up to 1,650 degrees Fahrenheit. Next up is Espeon, who stands at 0.9 meters tall and weighs 26.5 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says, although it originally had no powers at all, people say its precognitive faculties were awakened by its need to protect itself. Psychic power builds up in the orb on its forehead as it bathes in the sunshine. Espeon is not good at battling at night. Next we have Umbreon at 1 meter tall, weighing 27 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says this Pokemon is nocturnal. Even in total darkness, its large eyes can spot its prey clearly. It lurks in the dark of night looking for prey. At the moment it pounces, the rings on its body glow dimly, but ominously. Next we have Leafeon, who stands at 1 meter tall and weighs 25.5 kilograms. Its Pokedex data says although it doesn't like disputes, it will sharpen the leaf on its tail into a blade and fight if it has to protect its friends. It gets its nutrition from photosynthesis. It lives a quiet life deep in the forest where clean rivers flow. Next up is Glaceon, who stands at 0.8 meters tall and weighs 25.9 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says it protects itself by freezing its fur into sharp needles. It can drop its body temperature below minus 75 degrees Fahrenheit. It can simultaneously freeze any moisture that's around it, creating ice pellets to shoot at its prey. And finally we have Sylveon, who stands at 1 meter tall and weighs 23.5 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says once a fight breaks out, it will unflinchingly charge at dragon Pokemon that are many times larger than itself. Sylveon wraps its ribbon-like feelers around its trainer's arm because the touch enables it to read its trainer's feelings. Appearance-wise, each Eeveelution looks like a larger version of Eevee with a colour scheme and body design to make it reflect their particular typing, with Vaporeon having blue skin, fins and a fishtail, Jolteon having yellow spiked fur, Flareon having orange and cream fur that sort of looks like flames, Espeon having purple fur and a gem in the middle of its forehead, Umbreon being pure black with bright yellow rings in its fur, Leafeon having green leaves growing from its body, Glaceon being icy blue with sick bangs, and Sylveon having a pink and white motif with ribbons growing from it. In their shiny forms, Vaporeon switches from blue to purple, Jolteon to a more luminous green colour, Flareon to a lighter orange, and Espeon to an emerald green. Umbreon's rings turn from yellow to blue, while Leafeon's fur turns just a little darker, Glaceon turns almost white with much more prominent shades of blue, and Sylveon swaps around its blue and pink colorations. Now let's have a look at the typing, weaknesses, and resistances of these branched evolutions. First up is Vaporeon, who's a pure water-type Pokemon, which makes it weak to grass and electric-type moves. It resists steel, fire, water, and ice-type attacks, and has no immunities. Next up is Jolteon, who's a pure electric-type Pokemon, which makes it weak to only ground-type moves. It resists flying, steel, and electric-type attacks, and of course has no immunities. Flareon, on the other hand, is a pure fire-type Pokemon who is weak to ground, rock, and water-type attacks. Flareon resists bug, steel, fire, grass, ice, and fairy-type attacks, and has no immunities. Next up is Espeon, who is a pure psychic-type Pokemon, which makes it weak to bug, ghost, and dark-type attacks. It resists fighting and psychic-type moves, and has no immunities. Next we have Umbreon, who's a pure dark-type Pokemon, which makes it weak to fighting, bug, and fairy-type attacks. It resists ghost and dark-type moves, and is completely immune to psychic attacks. Leafeon is a pure grass-type Pokemon, which makes it weak to flying, poison, bug, fire, and ice-type moves. It resists ground, water, grass, and electric-type attacks, and has no immunities. Next we have Glaceon, who is a pure ice-type Pokemon, which makes it weak to fighting, rock, steel, and fire-type moves. It resists only ice-type attacks, and has no immunities. And finally we have Sylveon, who is a pure fairy-type Pokemon, which makes it weak to poison and steel-type moves. It resists fighting, bug, and dark-type attacks, and is completely immune to dragon-type moves. Now let's take a look at the stats and abilities of these branched evolutions. Each of the Eeveelution stats follow the same pattern. They each have one base stat that is 60, two that are 65, one of 95, one of 110, and one of 130. Each in different arrangements. For Vaporeon, its best stats are its special defense, special attack, and of course its HP, making it very specially bulky and also adept at dishing out special attacks. Its primary ability is Water Absorb, which causes Vaporeon's HP to be restored if it's hit by a water-type move. This of course is handy for maintaining the bulk of your Vaporeon whilst it's on the field, but also a little bit reliant on your opponent making a mistake in order for Vaporeon to be hit by a water-type move, although you could always have an ally use something like Surf. Its hidden ability is Hydration, which removes any status condition Vaporeon may have at the end of a turn if it's raining. This again is pretty handy to keep Vaporeon on the field as a viable battler for a lot longer, and also helps to avoid dreaded paralysis. Jolteon's stat distribution gives it incredible speed and great special attack, with decent special defense, although it does leave it physically fragile. Its primary ability is Volt Absorb, which works exactly the same as Vaporeon's Water Absorb, except now the trigger is electric attacks. Its hidden ability is Quick Feet, which increases Jolteon's already impressive speed by 50% when it has a status condition. This is great for allowing Jolteon to outspeed the few Pokemon that have a speed advantage over it. However, having to give an already fragile Pokemon like Jolteon a status condition is a risky venture. Flareon has excellent special attack and special defense, but its real prowess comes from its physical attack. Although much like Jolteon, it can't take many physical hits, and that's bad news for a Pokemon with both a ground and rock type weakness. Its primary ability is Flash Fire, which powers up Flareon's fire-type moves when itself is hit by a fire-type move. I'm not a big fan of this ability because much like Water Absorb and Volt Absorb, it depends on the Pokemon being hit by a move that it very obviously resists. But also, even then, it only powers up one type of Flareon's moves, which means your opponent can make appropriate switches to avoid taking too much damage, so it becomes kinda pointless. Its hidden ability is Guts, which increases Flareon's attack stat by 50% if it has a status condition. And whilst I do dislike abilities that depend on your Pokemon being crippled by a status condition, the idea of what would effectively be a base 195 attack Flareon does sound pretty cool. Espeon, much like Jolteon, is blessed in special attack, special defense, and speed, although this time the special attack is the stat that has the highest base power, meaning this mon's special moves hit like a truck. Its primary ability is Synchronize, which causes an opponent inflicting a status condition on Espeon to be inflicted with the same status, provided they can be. For example, fire types that burn Espeon can't be burned themselves. This is a fantastic ability to switch in on against an unprepared opponent, since it can really mess up their strategy by using it against them. Espeon's hidden ability is Magic Bounce, which bounces most non-damaging moves back at the opponent, which basically means it's the same as Synchronize, except instead of just status conditions, it bounces back stat-lowering moves, Taunt, Torment, etc., without any of them having an effect on Espeon, which is incredible. Next up is Umbreon, who sacrifices firepower for sheer bulk by having its top 3 stats in HP, Defense, and Monster Special Defense. This Pokemon is gifted when it comes to stall tactics. Its primary ability is Synchronize, much like Espeon. Its hidden ability, however, is Inner Focus, which prevents Umbreon from flinching. This is a super handy ability to have since Umbreon is almost guaranteed to move after most opponents, which leaves it susceptible to flinching. And you don't want that to happen when you're about to use Moonlight and restore half your HP whilst your opponent withers away from Toxic. Moments like that could destroy your perfect Umbreon strategy. So this ability is a godsend. Leafeon's stat distribution makes it a quick Pokemon with great physical attack and incredible physical defense. Its primary ability is Leaf Guard, which prevents Leafeon from being inflicted with a status condition during harsh sunlight. Although it doesn't remove any status conditions that were inflicted before the sunlight turned harsh, so it does kinda suck. Its hidden ability is Chlorophyll, which doubles Leafeon's speed when harsh sunlight is in effect. This is great because it allows Leafeon to get the jump on a lot of opponents to make use of its great physical attack stat. Although remember, someone has to bring the sunlight first. Next up is Glaceon, who boasts great defense and special defense and fantastic special attack, on par with Espeon's. Its primary ability is Snow Cloak, which reduces the accuracy of moves used against Glaceon during hail, which is handy because it will keep Glaceon on the field longer if it's avoiding super effective blows, but also it's very dependent on Glaceon or an ally calling for hail. Its hidden ability is Ice Body, which restores 1/16 of Glaceon's HP at the end of each turn whilst hail's in effect. This is another ability that increases Glaceon's staying power as long as somebody's brought the hail. However, hail only lasts a maximum of 8 turns, so it's likely you'll never get Glaceon back to full HP, so just be careful relying on this. And finally, as for Sylveon, it has excellent special bulk with great HP and its best stat being its special defense, whilst also having fantastic special attack so it can still dish out some damage. Its primary ability is Cute Charm, which has a 30% chance of infatuating an opponent who uses a move on Sylveon that makes contact. Now, whilst infatuation is one of the most insufferable status conditions to be inflicted with, you really don't want your Sylveon to be taking physical hits. It just can't really handle them that well. Sylveon's hidden ability is Pixelate, which boosts the power of normal type moves by 20%. It used to be 30%, but it got nerfed in Generation 7, for those who weren't aware. But after that 20% boost in power, they then become fairy type moves and then get same type attack bonus on top of them. This makes Hyper Voices and Hyper Beams particularly devastating. Now it's time for me to decide which of the 8 Eeveelutions I prefer, and for me it's Espeon. It used to be Vaporeon, but I think that was more on a looks thing. I just thought it looked cool because it has like fishy stuff going on, and I thought that was it made it quite unique compared to the others. But Espeon for me is just a mainstay of one of my online competitive teams, and it's won me some tight battles. Yes, it's quite fragile, under the right circumstances, but its special attack stat really helps it out. I love me some Espeon. I think its shiny is beautiful. I know people are very divided on Espeon shiny, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It looks great in that emerald green. Probably, I'd say Vaporeon's probably still a close second, and then maybe Umbreon, and then maybe Jolteon, and then it gets a bit cloudy. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a new Eeveelution in Galar, and then this will ruin this video, maybe. Probably. I'm really starting to worry that I have jinxed that. But of course, it's not just up to me to decide which is my favorite, it's up to you guys to decide what's your favorite. But before we do, let's see these Pokemon on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome battles. Yeah, battles. So this is how it's going to work for this special episode of Form Fight, because there's 8 evolutions, super easy. We're going to have a little mini tournament. So basically, 2 Pokemon are going to face off in 4 battles in a row, and then the winners of those battles will have 2 battles, and then the winners of that battle will have the final battle. The way I've done it as well, because annoyingly, there's 3 Kanto variations of Eevee, and there's 1 Kalos variation of Eevee, which really muddles the order. So I've used a random number generator to determine which Kanto Pokemon will face off against each other in the first round. Then we'll have Umbreon versus Espeon. Then we'll have Leafeon versus Glaceon. Then we'll have the remaining Kanto Pokemon versus Sylveon. And then ultimately, whoever wins each of those 4 battles, they'll battle each other until we have 2 left, and then we'll find out who wins. Super easy, super simple. If you're still confused, you'll get it once it kicks in. Don't you worry. And just before we start the battle, I will point out these Pokemon, as always, have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats. They're not holding any items. They've got neutral natures. They've all got their hidden abilities. The only advantage or disadvantage any of these Pokemon gets comes from, I guess, those hidden abilities, their typing, and their base stats. Everything else is all up to the metronome. 7 battles. Let's go. Here we go, it's the first round of our mini Eeveelution tournament in the Form Fight 100 Eeveelution special. Jolteon versus Vaporeon is going to start things off. We're going to have 7 battles, so I figured we'd use the wild battle themes from the first 7 generations of Pokemon in the background, so enjoy that in the meantime. Jolteon's going to start things off with extreme speed from the shiny Jolteon onto the shiny Vaporeon there, and here comes regular Jolteon with the follow-up. Here is String Shot, so that is going to slow down by 2 stages both of these Vaporeon, making them even slower, guaranteeing Jolteon has the speed advantage in this battle. They're always going to be using Metronome first, regardless at this point, I reckon, unless Vaporeon has something up its sleeve. Here's a Clamp, though, which is a stab attack from the shiny Vaporeon onto the regular Jolteon. That is going to damage that Jolteon at the end of each turn as well for the foreseeable future. Here's regular Vaporeon with a Comet Punch, and it is going to land. Comet Punch is a bit risky on the accuracy. Only 2 hits, though, so only a minor bit of damage there to shiny Jolteon. But there's more Clamp damage on the regular Jolteon, so Jolteon's got to be careful now. Needs to work quickly to take down Vaporeon, because, of course, Vaporeon and Umbreon are 2 of the more bulkier Eeveelutions. Here's a Frost Breath, though, avoided by shiny Vaporeon. Here comes shiny Jolteon, though, looks to follow up on that little error there with a Storm Throw, which is going to deal a lovely critical hit, guaranteed to do a critical hit, I believe, on the shiny Vaporeon. And now it's time for the Vaporeon team to do the retaliation. Although regular Vaporeon goes for Happy Hour, wastes a turn, just celebrating the happy atmosphere. Great job there. So it's over to shiny Vaporeon to maybe try and mount some offense against the Jolteon team. And we get Whirlwind, which is going to fail. So a completely wasted turn by the Vaporeon team. Lucky for them that the regular Jolteon is still being damaged by Clamp at the end of each turn. So not a total waste of turn, I suppose, maybe. Regular Jolteon's going to go for Acid, though, on both the Vaporeon there for a little tiny bit of damage. Doesn't get any stat drops there, unfortunately. And here comes shiny Jolteon following up with Revelation Dance, which is going to be an electric type. Will be super effective. Massive damage there to the to the regular Vaporeon, I should say, dropping it down to 69 HP. Nice. And here's a Grass Whistle from that same regular Vaporeon onto the shiny Jolteon, putting it to sleep instantly. Is that going to damage the Jolteon team's chances of winning? I have absolutely no idea. I guess we'll see. Here's a Poison Jab from the poison-looking shiny Vaporeon onto the regular Jolteon there, who is still damaged by the Clamp. Didn't get the poison, though, on that Poison Jab. But now it's over to the Jolteon team to try and mount a retaliation here. Shiny Jolteon is fast asleep, so it is not going to participate in this turn. And it's over to regular Jolteon now. What's it going to do here? It's going to go for Dig. It's going to hide itself underground so it can't take any attacks from the Vaporeon team. Very, very smart, although it does leave shiny Jolteon as a sitting duck on its own on the field. Regular Vaporeon's going to go for Petal Blizzard, but targets the Jolteon that's underground. Well, it hits everybody, so it's going to do super effective damage to its partner. And then, of course, it's going to damage the shiny Jolteon just a little bit, but does not get a hit. Oh, here's Haze, though, removing the stat changer. So there we go. That -2 speed is no more on the Vaporeon team. But yeah, the Petal Blizzard, long story short, did not hit the underground Jolteon, but he will pop up in a moment for the end of the dig turn. Here we go. And of course, Shiny Jolteon is fast asleep. That dig brings Shiny Vaporeon down into the red, though, into the danger zone, so it could be just a matter of time. Here's a knockoff, though, from regular Vaporeon onto the sleeping Shiny Jolteon, bringing it down to less than half its max HP. And Shiny Vaporeon looks to follow up with Prismatic Laser. Oh my days. That is going to be devastating and takes out the regular Jolteon. We're down to just the shiny sleeping Jolteon and 2 Vaporeon at this point. Who's going to go through into the next round of this mini tournament? What will happen? Shiny Jolteon is fast asleep, can't mount any offense here. Shiny Vaporeon has to recharge after the Prismatic Laser, and here comes regular Vaporeon, who's going to go for Ally Switch and just swap places with its partner, because why not? Isn't that a wonderful, happy thing to do? Just swap places with your partner. Why not? It's over to Shiny Jolteon, who does wake up, goes for the Metronome. What's it going to do here? Needs a miracle. It's going to go for Harden. It's going to increase its defense. I would have gone on the offensive personally, but whatever strategy you want to use there. Here comes regular Vaporeon, now on the right side of your screen for no apparent reason. Goes for Doom Desire. So we get to say it, the cringiest move in history. It chose Doom Desire as its destiny. Oh boy. That's anime AF, isn't it, kiddos? And Shiny Vaporeon's going to go for Sheer Cold, but it is avoided. That would have been a one-hit KO on that Jolteon. So Jolteon's still very much in this battle here. It's getting itself ready. What's it going to do? Going to go for Ring Out on the regular Vaporeon there. Just a little bit of damage there, but it's still damage nonetheless. So don't count Jolteon out just yet. Shiny Vaporeon is going to go for Leaf Storm, but it's avoided by the Jolteon. So Jolteon really hanging in there at the moment. Regular Vaporeon looking to follow up. Going to go for Fury Swipes. How many hits is it going to get? That's a critical hit on the first one, though. 2 hits, just the 2 hits from the Fury Swipes there. Not going to be a full set of 5. Now Jolteon has another opportunity to try and take out one of these Vaporeon. Goes for Thunder Punch, which will be super effective and same type attack bonus. Takes down the regular Vaporeon. Absolutely flattens it. Jolteon is back in this game. Shiny Vaporeon, what will it do now? It needs to do something to avenge its partner. Goes for Freeze Dry. Will it be enough? It's not enough to take down Jolteon, but it takes the Doom Desire attack, which it does resist, but it takes down Jolteon. That Doom Desire just cost Jolteon its place. Vaporeon moves on. That is incredible. So Vaporeon makes it into the semi-finals, I guess. Let's find out who it's going to be facing in the next battle. So now it's time for Umbreon versus Espeon. Round 2 of this mini tournament. Everyone enters the battlefield here. So Umbreon's going to have Inner Focus and Espeon is going to have Magic Bounce. Everyone's got their hidden abilities in this battle. Look at that lovely green Espeon there. That's a beautiful emerald green right there. And Soft Boiled on the first turn from Espeon is going to mean a wasted turn. Now regular Espeon is going to follow up with a Calm Mind. Now that's an Espeon strategy right there. Increasing its special attack and special defense. That is a great play by Espeon to start off that turn. So it's certainly made up for its shiny counterpart's mistake. And here comes Umbreon starting things off for its team with Spit Up, but it's not stockpiled anything, so it can't spit up. And here comes Shiny Umbreon. What will it do as its first move? Going to go for Needle Arm, which is a grass type move. That does a decent amount of damage there to Shiny Espeon. Pretty good start there. And now it's over to Shiny Espeon to retaliate, I suppose, with a Miracle Eye. Very smart play there. Goes for Miracle Eye, which means that Umbreon can now be hit with Psychic type moves, which was a great play there. That's a great move to use on an Umbreon. Here's a foul play, though, from regular Espeon. Not going to do a lot of damage because Umbreon isn't the most gifted in physical attack and also resists the foul play. But here comes Umbreon with a Gyro Ball. Going to do some Steel-type damage to that regular Espeon. Not a great deal of damage, but damage nonetheless. And here comes the shiny Umbreon with the follow-up with Meteor Mash. Another Steel-type move. A duo of Steel-type moves there, bringing shiny Espeon down to 69 hit points. Nice. And here comes the regular Espeon. What will it do now? It's going to go for Brutal Swing, which will hit everybody on the field, though. Super effective damage on shiny Espeon. Not the smartest play there, and not very effective at all on the shiny Umbreon or the regular Umbreon. Shiny Espeon is going to follow up with Lock On. Not the greatest of choice of moves there. The Espeon team's kind of suffering at the moment. Shiny Umbreon is going to follow this. What will it do? It's getting ready with its Metronome, and it's going to go for Growth and increase its attack and special attack, I believe. Yes! Attack and special attack. There you go. Lovely. Excellent. And over to regular Umbreon. What will it do here? I think the advantage is on Umbreon at the moment. Goes for Cross Poison. What a great move. 1 hit point and poisons the Shiny Espeon. Yep, I would say advantage Umbreon, since Shiny Espeon is now hurt by poison and faints. Umbreon's really in the driver's seat right now. Espeon really needs a miracle. Needs to bust out some fairy type moves or some fighting type moves or even some bug type moves. Here comes Healing Wish, but it does fail from Espeon, and now Shiny Umbreon is getting ready. Is it going to deliver the killing blow here? Goes for Electric Terrain. That's not going to knock anything out, but it's going to prevent Pokemon from falling asleep. So no resting on this battlefield, lads. Be careful. What will regular Umbreon do now? Now it's got an opportunity. Espeon sitting alone on the other side. We see a Mach Punch, which is going to be not very effective. Barely any damage at all. Barely moved the HP bar there. Now it's over to Espeon. Espeon really needs a miracle at this point. It's going to go for Dragon Rage, which is guaranteed 40 hit points, which isn't really a miracle, but it's still damage, I suppose. So here comes the Shiny Umbreon. It's getting ready with Spite, but it's magic bounced by Espeon's ability back at Umbreon. So the amount of Metronomes that Umbreon has available is now reduced by 4. By 4 because of the Spite. So there you go. Good use of Spite, Espeon, even though it was Umbreon that used it. Here's a barrier, though, increasing the defense of regular Umbreon. That is going to factor in very, very importantly in this battle, because now Espeon, if it gets any physical attacks, really can't do any damage to regular Umbreon. And here's a Quiver Dance, though. Espeon increasing its special attack, special defense, and its speed. There we go. So that's 1 stage each for special attack, special defense, and speed. So this Espeon's now at +2 special attack, special defense, and +1 speed. Here's Spit Up, but nothing's been stockpiled once again by the Shiny Umbreon. And here's the regular Umbreon. What will it do here? Gonna go for Horn Drill, and it's gonna hit as well. So that's a 1-hit KO. So forget all those stat boosts. Espeon is out. Umbreon, I should say, moves on to the next round. It'll be facing Vaporeon in the next round of battles, but first up, we got 2 more battles to go. Let's find out who's going to win the next ones and move on. So next up is Leafeon versus Glaceon, the battle of the Gen 4 Pokemon, and someone in the comments is going to go,
"But you're playing the Gen 3 battle theme."
Because they didn't listen to me earlier, where I said that I was using the battle themes from each of the generations because there's 7 battles. Someone's going to comment that below. Make sure if they do, tell them they're stupid in the replies to that comment. Here we see a beautiful start from the Shiny Leafeon, and here's the regular Leafeon as well, going for Final Gambit from the get-go. Oh my goodness, Final Gambit takes down Shiny Glaceon and of course regular Leafeon, so we're down to Shiny Leafeon and regular Glaceon. It's one-on-one from turn 1. Oh my goodness. So here comes regular Glaceon, who's gonna go for Soft Boiled and restore that tiny bit of HP there from the first move. My goodness. So now we're at even Stevens. Let's start this battle again, I suppose. Over to Leafeon. What are you going to do this time? My word. So Leafeon's getting prepared and is going to go for Payback, which of course isn't going to do as much damage because it's the first move of the turn, but a little bit of chip damage there on Glaceon. Wowee. That was amazing. So here comes Glaceon with Baton Pass, which is going to fail. Glaceon's in a difficult spot right now because Leafeon really is on the ball at the moment, especially after that Final Gambit. Skill Swap coming out from Leafeon, so it's going to swap its Chlorophyll with Ice Body, so if Hail comes into effect, it's going to heal Leafeon, and that's great, I suppose? I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, it makes it immune to Hail, so I guess that works out. Here comes the Glaceon with Rock Throw, which is going to do a tiny bit of damage there to the Shiny Leafeon. And now Shiny Leafeon gets to follow up. What will it do here? It's going to go for Body Slam, maybe hoping to paralyze Glaceon because it has pretty good physical attack as well, so it does a great deal of damage, especially with that critical hit. And here comes Glaceon. Glaceon needs to mount some offense. Goes for a super effective X-Scissor, though. I mean, that's the kind of offense we're talking about. Didn't do a great deal of damage, though, of course, because Leafeon has the highest defense stat of all the Eeveelutions, and Glaceon does not have a very high physical attack stat. And increasing that defense even further, your voice has been heard, Glaceon, because now Leafeon is backing up its defense even more with that Harden. Now what will Glaceon do here? It's going to go for Psych Up, which, you know, that's fine. You're going to copy stat changes. Why not? I don't even remember if Leafeon's had any stat changes so far. So I think that was redundant. Here comes Leafeon, though, firing back with Inferno, but Glaceon luckily avoids it. That could have been absolutely devastating to Glaceon's chances in this tournament. Glaceon now goes for block, which is basically false swipe. No, it's not. It's you can no longer escape. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of hold back is what I'm thinking of. Someone's already corrected me in the comments in that millisecond gap between thoughts. Here's Moonlight, though. Oh my goodness, Moonlight from Leafeon, bringing itself right back up to full HP. Leafeon's on the ball right now. What will Glaceon do? Glaceon looking to fire back, goes for Fling. It's not holding an item, it's just making mistake after mistake. There's a real advantage on Team Leafeon right now. My goodness. Leafeon, what's it going to do here? Going to go for Rock Slide, which is super effective on Glaceon. Is that going to be enough? It's not quite enough to take down Glaceon, but my word. Glaceon luckily doesn't flinch to the Rock Slide, gets ready with the Metronome, goes for Thunderbolt. That's going to be resisted by Leafeon, so it doesn't do a great deal of damage. I mean, it does a decent amount of damage for a Thunderbolt that's resisted, you know, because Glaceon obviously has the highest special attack stat of all the Eeveelutions, well, tied with Espeon. Recycle is going to fail for Leafeon. That gives Glaceon an opportunity. What will it do with the opportunity? Goes for Revenge, which is going to do a little bit of chip damage there to Leafeon. Not a great deal. It's still advantage Leafeon right now. What's Leafeon going to do now? It's going to go for Quiver Dance. Oh my goodness, it's going to raise its special attack, special defense, and its speed by a stage apiece. This is getting dangerous for Glaceon and also gives Leafeon a little bit of protection against that massive special attack stat of Glaceon. Glaceon's going to go for Fire Blast, though, which is going to be super effective on Leafeon and absolutely annihilates it. Glaceon with the upset victory just slams Leafeon. Wow, so Glaceon moves on. We'll find out Glaceon's opponent in the next battle. Wow, that was amazing. So now we have the remaining Kanto Eeveelution, Flareon, versus the only Kalos Eeveelution, which is Sylveon. Let's find out who goes forward into the next round to face Glaceon. My word. By the way, you notice this little tournament's a little bit like Metromania? This is another series that I do every Thursday. Maybe check that out if you haven't already. Shiny Flareon is going to start this battle off with Baby Doll Eyes, reducing the attack stat of regular Sylveon there. Sylveon, of course, not really known for its attack stats, so it's not going to make a great deal of difference. And here's regular Flareon with Rototiller, which doesn't affect anybody on the field. So well done, Flareon. I hope you're proud of yourself. What are you doing? So here comes the Sylveon team. Shiny Sylveon starting things off for its team. Gonna go for Forest's Curse and add the Grass type to Flareon. So regular Flareon is now Grass and Fire, which is actually a typing we've not seen in Pokemon yet. So maybe we'll see that in Sword and Shield, especially with all this curry talk. Here's Close Combat, though, from the regular Sylveon onto regular Flareon. Gonna reduce its defense and special defense, though, which leaves it a little bit vulnerable. But of course, it does have decent special bulk on it. Here comes the shiny Flareon, who goes for Bone Club onto the shiny Sylveon. How many? Oh, it's just the one hit with Bone Club. I'm thinking of Bone Meringue. Bone Club is just one hit, mate. But it's still a great amount of damage. Here's a Confuse Ray from regular Flareon onto regular Sylveon. Going to leave that Sylveon confused. Is it going to end up attacking itself? I guess we'll find out as this battle goes on. Shiny Sylveon flinches from that Bone Club, though. Regular Sylveon is confused. Doesn't hit itself, though. Ignores the confusion. Going for the Metronome now. What will it do? Gonna go for Sunny Day, which, honestly, that's advantage Flareon, really. Because now Flareon's Fire-type attacks are going to do even more damage. So I don't really know if I'd have done that, to be honest, Sylveon, but whatever you want to do. Shiny Flareon is going to start off the next turn, and it's going to go for Energy Ball, which is going to be neutral damage to Sylveon. Great amount of damage there as well. Well played by the Shiny Flareon. And here's regular Flareon following up with another Confuse Ray, but on the same Sylveon. That was a bit of a bum move there, dude. You should have done that. And here's Shiny Sylveon going for Wing Attack, which will be super effective on the regular Flareon, but not the Shiny Flareon that it targeted, so that's unfortunate right there. The regular Sylveon is still ignoring that confusion, not going to hit itself today. Goes for Uproar, which is going to continue for the next couple of turns. Decent damage there on the Shiny Flareon as well. And here comes the next turn, you should say. I got very confused because the Uproar was not very effective. Of course it's not very effective. Pixelate, that's why. There's a lovely slash, though, from Shiny, some regular Flareon onto Shiny Sylveon. And here's Shiny Flareon with a Petal Dance. which is going to deal a decent amount of damage there to Shiny Sylveon. So yes, Pixelate. I forgot about Pixelate. That's why the Uproar isn't doing a lot of damage. Although Sylveon hits itself in confusion, so can't continue its not very effective Uproar. And here comes Shiny Sylveon with a withdraw, going to increase its defense stat. Things are getting dire for the Sylveon team, so increasing your defense is not a bad shout right there. Sylveon's calmed down, so no more Uproar. That Uproar was destroyed by the confusion. And here comes regular Flareon, who's going to go for a light screen and protect its team against special attacks. That's not a bad shout for the Flareon team there. That's not a bad shout at all. Here comes Shiny Flareon, though, continuing that Petal Dance. Going to do a great amount of damage there to that regular Sylveon and confuse itself due to fatigue, though. And here comes Shiny Sylveon, looking to capitalize, looking to follow up. It's going to go for Magnet Rise and, I guess, protect itself against Ground-type moves, which you got to expect anything in a Metronome battle, so that could well be a factor later on. Sylveon's going to snap out of its confusion, and what's it going to go for? It's going to go for a barrier and increase its defense by 2 stages. That's a smart play there. Protect yourself against the Flareon team, because the Flareon team is out for blood, and they definitely have the advantage right now. Shiny Flareon is confused, isn't going to hit itself, though. It's going to continue on throughout this battle. It's going to go for Stockpile and increase its defense and its special defense. Everyone's going on the defensive right now. Very interesting plays here. I'm wondering what the regular Flareon's going to do for this turn. Regular Flareon is getting ready, gearing itself up. What will it choose from the Metronome Pie? Going to go for Charge Beam. So it's going to use that electric type attack for a tiny bit of damage on Sylveon. Will it increase its special attack? It doesn't, unfortunately, for Flareon, but that's good for the Sylveon team, who fires back with Tail Glow. So it's going to increase its special attack by 3 stages. That's a dangerous Sylveon right there. And here comes the Shiny Sylveon. What will it do as a follow-up? Going to go for Role Play and copy the Guts ability from Flareon there. So Shiny Flareon's Guts is now the ability that Sylveon has, which does mean that Shiny Sylveon's normal type attacks will actually be normal type and won't be converted into fairy type attacks anymore. And here comes Imprison. Great play there by the regular Flareon. That means these Sylveon are going to be unable to use Metronome now, which is absolutely crippling, especially with the reduced amount of HP that they have. So here's a Cell Rock from the Shiny Flareon, doing a decent amount of damage to Shiny Sylveon, but both Sylveon are unable to use Metronome this turn. And it means that next turn they're both going to struggle, which means they'll knock themselves out if they can't take out the Flareon. So I think Flareon's won this. I mean, a double edge taking out Shiny Sylveon, that's a great play there. So down goes Shiny Sylveon. What will regular Flareon do as a follow-up? Will it take out this Sylveon before it can even struggle? I wonder. Here's a Psycho Shift, but it fails. That's unfortunate, and no moves left on the Sylveon means it is going to struggle. It's not going to be able to knock out Shiny Flareon, takes itself down with Recoil, and Flareon moves on to face Glaceon in what will effectively be our semi-finals. That was fantastic. So we've got 3 more battles left to go, but we know our semi-finalists now. This is incredible. So here's the first of the semi-finals in this mini tournament. We have Vaporeon taking on Umbreon. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. 2 of the bulkiest of the Eeveelutions facing off mono in mono. Here we go. Get ready. Umbreon's going to start things off for its team, regular Umbreon that is, with Disable, but of course no moves happen, so you can't use Disable. That's an unfortunate mistake there. And here comes the Shiny Umbreon with Toxic Spikes, which again is a wasted turn because these Pokemon aren't going to be switching out, so no one's going to be switching in to take those Toxic Spikes. Here comes Vaporeon. What's it going to do now that it has a bit of an opening? Going to go for Flatter, so it's going to confuse Shiny Umbreon, but increase its special attack 1 stage. It's like a weird alternate version of Swagger, but not quite as good. So Umbreon is confused, Shiny Umbreon's confused, may hit itself, and here comes Shiny Vaporeon. Shiny Vaporeon's going to go for Psyshock, but it doesn't affect Umbreon. So not the greatest of first turns for either team, but at least Vaporeon managed to get that confusion onto Umbreon. Here comes regular Vaporeon once again with Grudge, which means if it gets knocked out, then its opponent will lose its PP for the move that it used. I believe that's how that works. Shiny Umbreon is confused, is going to ignore the confusion though. What's it going to go for here? What's it got in store? Going to go for Dizzy Punch for just a little bit of physical damage on that lovely purple Vaporeon. And here comes the regular Umbreon, who's going to fire off an Icicle Crash, which will be resisted but any damage is better than no damage at this stage of the game. On the regular Vaporeon there, just taking about 19 damage off that Vaporeon, and now it's over to the Vaporeon team once again. Shiny Vaporeon prepping that Metronome, going for Razor Leaf, which will hit both opponents there for just that little bit of damage, with a critical hit on the Shiny Umbreon though. And now it's time for regular Vaporeon. Once again, what's it gonna do? What's it got in store? Gonna go for Ally Switch. It did this in the previous battle, and I never understand. Maybe it just likes being on the right. I don't know. But what will happen here? A Shiny Umbreon is confused. Is it gonna... It's gonna ignore the confusion, and it's gonna go for the Metronome. So what will it do here while it has the opportunity? Gonna go for Flame Burst, which isn't going to be very effective, but it is going to... it's gonna do a critical hit, and it's going to hit Vaporeon as regular Vaporeon as well. That's the beauty of Flame Burst. Just does that little extra bit of damage to the opponent. Here is a Lick from the regular Umbreon onto the regular Vaporeon. Unfortunately, no paralysis. And here comes Shiny Vaporeon firing back with a Mud Shot, trying to lower the accuracy, I think, Mud Shot? Or is it Mud Slap that's accuracy? It's speed, -1 speed for Shiny Umbreon. It's now the slowest thing on the field, I believe. Yeah, it's Mud Slap for accuracy when it doesn't do a lot of damage at all. Here we go with a Clamp from Vaporeon. This is one of the things that gave them such an advantage against Jolteon, dealing clamp damage to Umbreon at the end of each turn now. And here comes regular Umbreon, who looks to retaliate with a Psy-Wave, which will hit the Water-type Vaporeon team. Psy-Wave doing a little bit of damage there to the regular Vaporeon. And here comes Shiny Vaporeon looking to fire back, going for X-Scissor, which is super effective on Shiny Umbreon, bringing it down to less than half its max HP. It's confused as well and is going to be taking clamp damage. Ignores the confusion though, so what's it going to do here? It's got limited time left on the field. It's going to go for Searing Shot. What a great choice of move there. Going to hit everybody on the field. Little bit of damage to regular Umbreon. Not very effective on either of Vaporeons, but gets the burn on both the Vaporeons. That's an amazing play right there. Doesn't burn its partner either. So big risk and big reward. Vaporeon's physical attack will now be down as well. There's the clamp damage, which is the worrying factor for the Umbreon team. Shiny Umbreon in a difficult spot here, but regular Umbreon still sitting pretty with a lot of its HP, very much in the green. Here it goes with a Sweet Kiss as well, which is going to hit that regular Vaporeon, which is going to make it confused, so it may hit itself in confusion. This is detrimental to the Vaporeon team. They are suffering right now. Shiny Vaporeon, I should say, is going to go for Nature's Madness, though, which will half Umbreon's HP. Regular Umbreon, who was sitting pretty, is now at less than half its max HP because of that Nature's Madness. That was a great play there. Regular Vaporeon hits itself in confusion. Very unfortunate. Shiny Umbreon snaps out of confusion, gets ready with the Metronome. What's it got in mind here? Goes for Extra Sensory. Again, a Psychic type move that will hit the Water type team. Does a decent amount of damage there. A little bit of damage to the regular Vaporeon as both the Vaporeon take damage from the burns. Regular Vaporeon is in the danger zone now because of that burn damage, as is Shiny Umbreon because of the clamp damage. So this could really go either way at the moment. If Vaporeon busts out a special attack, it may be over for Umbreon. Here's a Rock Tomb, though, from regular Umbreon onto regular Vaporeon, putting it in a very dangerous place, dropping its speed, but it's not going to matter when that burn takes effect. Here comes regular Vaporeon snapping out of confusion, though, so no more confusion damage. Goes for Whirlwind, wastes its turn. That's very unfortunate for regular Vaporeon. Here comes Shiny Vaporeon, who is going to go for a Stomp with its physical attack reduced. Barely any damage to that regular Umbreon there, but maybe it gets a flinch. Shiny Umbreon, the last thing to move on the field is a Razor Wind, and of course I just realized Shiny Umbreon's the last thing to move in a turn, so no flinches from that Stomp. There's the burn damage, taking a bit of hate, taking Shiny Vaporeon down to less than half its max HP. Regular Vaporeon lives on a single hit point, and Shiny Umbreon lives from the clamp damage on just a couple of hit points as well. Wow, these Pokemon really want to stay in this battle. Here we go with regular Umbreon going for Pain Split, taking a little bit of Vaporeon's HP, adding it onto itself, and Shiny Vaporeon is not going to be happy about that. What's it going to do here? It's going to go for Egg Bomb. Again, a physical attack, not going to do much damage to Umbreon. Basically, maybe slightly negated that Pain Split, but here comes regular Vaporeon, its last possible move, and it's a Psy Strike that doesn't affect Umbreon. That's so unfortunate. Here's a Razor Wind taking out regular Vaporeon. It would have died from the burn damage anyway, but now it's Shiny Vaporeon, who is burned, sitting on its own in this battle. Needs an absolute miracle. No more clamp as well because regular Vaporeon's gone, so Shiny Umbreon gets to stay in. But Synthesis from regular Shiny Vaporeon. Going to restore 50% of its max HP. That's an incredible play there. It's still in this game. I can't believe it. What will Umbreon do in response? What's it going to go for? Goes for submission, but it's avoided by Shiny Vaporeon. Now it's over to Shiny Umbreon. Wow, what an incredible play there. And he goes for Heal Pulse. It's going to heal Vaporeon. It says, hey, you want an opportunity for the final? Then, do you know what? Do it from max HP. Oh my goodness. So there's the burn damage, but Vaporeon just got a massive advantage. What on earth is this? Regular Umbreon, in absolute shock, goes for Acid Armor. Yeah, increase your defense, because this burned Vaporeon won't be able to touch you if you increase your defense by 2 stages. My word. Here comes Vaporeon, sitting pretty. What will it do? Gonna go for Telekinesis, which is going to raise that Shiny Umbreon up into the air. Oh my goodness, what a great set of turns for the Vaporeon team. And Shiny Umbreon's going to go for Iron Deluge. Look at that. Oh, look at all those ions. Aren't they great? A deluge of ions showers the battlefield. Ain't that great? What's going to happen? There's more burn damage. What will happen here? Shiny Vaporeon getting ready. What moves has it got in store? Going for Hyper Beam. Oh my goodness. It's really pulling out the big guns. A Hyper Beam on a Shiny Umbreon that had less than 5 hit points. Great play there, Vaporeon, though it does leave itself open now to 2 attacks from the regular Umbreon. Umbreon here is going to go for Fire Spin, so that's going to deal... So now burn damage and Fire Spin damage at the end of each turn for Vaporeon. That is not a good situation to be in. Umbreon is very angry right now, and rightly so. My word, this could really go either way at this point. Umbreon really could do with just stalling out this Vaporeon and letting the burn and the Fire Spin do as much damage as possible. Trick or Treat comes out, adding the Ghost type to that Vaporeon though. What will the Vaporeon do in response? Gotta recharge, of course. What will it do once it gets the chance to respond? There's the burn damage, there's the Fire Spin damage. Vaporeon's back down to less than half its max HP. Umbreon gets to move first on the next turn. It's got to have dangerous things in mind. Goes for a super effective now. Shadow Punch. Great play by Umbreon. Oh my goodness. That was very, very smart. Using Trick or Treat and then using Shadow Punch. Vaporeon's going to go for Confide. I mean, at this stage of the game, really bit late for Confide. Umbreon's special attack's going to drop by 1 stage. There's the burn damage. Here comes the Fire Spin damage. Vaporeon only has 1 more turn to survive. It needs to, if it doesn't hit a move that knocks Umbreon out this turn, it is done for. Goes for Charge and raises its special defense, so it's all over. Unless Umbreon uses something like Memento, then Vaporeon is out of this contest. My word. So here comes Umbreon. It's getting ready. It's going for Gyro Ball. Is that going to be enough to take down Vaporeon? It's not, but wouldn't you look at that? The burn takes down Vaporeon. The burn set up by Shiny Umbreon earlier in the battle from that searing shot. So the Umbreon team moves on to the final. They're going to face either Glaceon or Flareon. Let's see what happens in the next semi-final. And here we go, semi-final 2. It's Glaceon versus Flareon. God, the voice cracks are real now. That's what happens when you record back to back 7 times over. Here we go. Glaceon's going to start things off for its team, and what's it going to do here? It's going to go for Morning Sun, which is a waste of a turn, so great start there. That's like when people use Soft Boiled on the first turn. Shiny Flareon is starting things off for its team with a super effective Power-Up Punch. Great, oh my god, massive damage as well, and increasing the attack stat further of that Flareon. That was a great play there. What will the Shiny Glaceon do? It's going to go for Magnetic Flux, and that is going to fail. And now it's over to regular Flareon for its first move of this second semi-final. Goes for Nasty Plot, increasing its special attack by 2 stages. This Flareon team is getting scarier and scarier and scarier in this battle already. Can't believe it. Glaceon getting ready on the next turn, looking a bit sheepish. What will it do? Gonna go for Refresh, and that's another wasted move. So this is not good for regular Glaceon. Luckily, Shiny Glaceon gets the opportunity to follow up with a Thunder Shock, which will do a little bit of damage. Hopefully gets the Paralysis for its team. Yes, it does. There you go. The Paralysis is on Shiny Flareon. Although I just realized that activates the Guts ability. So Shiny Flareon is a +1 attack, Guts boosted Flareon. This is not good for Glaceon. There we see a little bit of chip damage there from regular Flareon on onto regular Glaceon. Here comes Shiny Flareon. We're all wondering what it's going to use. Water Shuriken, which I believe is a special attack in this generation. I thought it was physical. It probably should be physical, but isn't. So there you go. Special attack. You got lucky, regular Glaceon. You got real lucky. Everyone's watching that Shiny Flareon with bated breath, wondering what move it's going to use and is it going to be physical. Regular Flareon's going to go for a Focus Blast, though, with its +2 special attack. Oh my goodness. Absolutely annihilates Shiny Glaceon. My word. That was incredible. What a smart set of plays by the regular Flareon there. Here comes Glaceon, who's going to go for Acid Armor, increase its defense. Yeah, you think, mate? You think? It's probably the smartest thing you've done all battle. It's the first move you've done that's actually been successful. Here we see Shiny, oh god, the voice cracks. Here we see Shiny Flareon going for Aqua Tail, which is a physical hit. Massive damage, but of course that Acid Armor really paying dividends for Glaceon there. What's it going to do here? Glaceon is going to fire off with an Aurora Veil, but there's no hail in effect, so that's very unfortunate. That means no Aurora Veil, no extra protection. You know what it was thinking. And here's a Gust, +2 Gust, and it just takes out Glaceon. Look at that. Flareon team have absolutely wiped the floor with Glaceon. Was that even 2 minutes? Was that even 4 turns? Wow, well done to Flareon. You're facing Umbreon in the final. And here we have it, the final of this little mini Eeveelution tournament, Umbreon versus Flareon. Remember, if your favorite Eeveelution is already out, or if your favorite Eeveelution doesn't win, it doesn't matter. This isn't an important tournament. It's just for funsies, so don't panic too much. We're going to see regular Umbreon start things off, though. I hope you are enjoying it, though. Let me know if you are in the comments. With Beat Up, which is going to be 2 Dark-type hits. Nice hits there on Flareon. Well done. Little bit of chip damage to start things off from regular Umbreon. And here's regular Flareon firing back with Forest's Curse, adding the grass type to shiny Umbreon. Now that is important because that means any of the stab moves, any stab fire type moves that the Flareon team uses are going to be super effective on shiny Umbreon. Psycho Cut doesn't affect Umbreon, so that's going to be completely ineffective on Umbreon. And here's shiny Umbreon. What's it going to do with that new grass typing? Goes for Toxic Thread. Going to lower the speed, I believe, of the shiny Flareon, as well as poisoning it. Down goes the speed by 1 stage. There's the poison. So shiny Flareon's time in this battle is limited. It's going to be very concerning for the Flareon team going forward. Shiny Umbreon getting ready once again, gets another turn because, of course, that's the way these speed tie things work. Stored Power hasn't upped its stats by very much, though, so it's not going to do very much damage there. And now regular Umbreon gets to fire off as well. What will it do? Going to go for Searing Shot. This is how it beat the Vaporeon team in the semi-finals. I mean, it's not going to do much damage to the Flareon team, though. Got to be careful not to burn your partner as well, so be very careful. But doesn't get any burns, deals a little bit of damage to everybody on the field, and regular Flareon's going to go for Silver Wind, which is super effective on the regular Umbreon there. Great amount of damage to regular Umbreon, and here comes shiny Flareon. What's it got in store? Remember, it's using Nightshade, so that's going to be a guaranteed 50 hit points. Remember, the poison means that Guts is activated, so if this shiny Flareon, once again, if it goes for any physical moves, they're going to be absolutely brutal. I don't even want to imagine it. Here is the regular Umbreon going for Eruption, busting out all the fire type moves now. This time it doesn't hit its own partner, but does do a little bit of damage to each of the Flareon there. Just a tiny bit of not very effective damage. And here comes the shiny Umbreon, who's going to go for a Cell Rock, which will be super effective. Great amount of damage there to that shiny Flareon, putting it in a very dangerous position. And now the regular Flareon is going to fire off with an Encore, but that's not going to work in a Metronome battle because everyone has to use Metronome. And shiny Flareon, what will it do? Will it be physical? Goes for a Throat Chop. That is a physical attack. Luckily, it's resisted by Umbreon, so not going to do as much damage as that shiny Flareon had hoped, but there's more poison damage. It's not looking good for shiny Flareon at the moment. It really needs something to keep it in this battle. Regular Umbreon is going to go for a Clear Smog just for a little bit of extra damage, trying to get rid of that shiny Flareon, putting it in the red danger zone and removing its stat changes. Didn't that remove its speed change, the minus, or does it just remove positive ones? Here's a Razor Shell, though, from a regular Flareon onto regular Umbreon, dropping its defense by 1 stage, which is not good if that shiny Flareon gets an attack on it. Here's a Storm Throw, though, from the shiny Umbreon onto regular Flareon. Decent amount of damage there with that guaranteed critical hit. And here comes shiny Flareon. What will it do? Might be its last attack. Goes for Trump Card. My word. Does tiny bit of damage. I expected, because it's the first time it's been used. That's how Trump Card works. Trump Card works the less PP that you have. Somehow it hangs on from that poison damage, though. And here comes Prismatic Laser from the shiny Umbreon onto Witch Flareon, onto the shiny, so the shiny doesn't get to take advantage of that Guts boost. Unfortunately, down goes shiny Flareon. It's now 2 Umbreon versus 1 Flareon, and what's going to happen in this battle? Umbreon going for Heal Pulse. Regular Umbreon going for a Heal Pulse, much like its partner did in the Vaporeon battle. We're seeing a lot of things in this battle that happened in the Vaporeon battle. Very, very bizarre goings on from the Umbreon team. Not quite working in sync. And here's regular Flareon with a Smart Strike. Gonna do well, I mean, at least it's gonna hit. Does enough damage though. Critical hit to take down the regular Umbreon. We're now down to just 1 Pokemon apiece. It's shiny Umbreon versus regular Flareon. Who will be our little mini champion in this little mini tournament? We see Overheat though, and the grass type was added to that Umbreon. So it's super effective and takes it down. What an amazing play. Oh my god, so there's your winner in this special 100th episode of Form Fight special Eeveelution tournament. It's Flareon. Well done to the Flareon team. That was boss. So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, but now it's time for you to make your decision. Which of these 8 Eeveelutions is your favorite? Is it Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Espeon, Umbreon, Leafeon, Glaceon, or Sylveon? Let me know in the comments below and explain to everybody why your pick is the absolute best. So thank you so much for watching the 100th episode of Form Fight. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast making it, so I really hope you enjoyed watching it. Hit like if you did, hit subscribe if you're new, and if you would like to see this series continue and this channel go on, please consider supporting the channel through Patreon like these lovely, lovely people down here do. You can pledge at patreon.com/AceTrainer Liam. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.